moderate this. I want to thank Sir and Diane Feinstein. And have had such a great privilege and honor of working with your team. I know that Diane will be an even more vigorous. We are really going to miss, but especially if we have a Democratic Senate, Thompson and Phil Ting, and San Francisco Board of Supervisors, Scott Wiener. And have been my friends for many, many years and give me so much support, so much love. I want to thank Susie Tompkins Buell and Amy Rao. Excited to be here. We have 26 days until the election. You understand that it's one of the most important elections of our lifetime, if not our history. And I'm grateful for your generosity. This has been an amazing event, but we cannot take anything for granted. I will work as hard as I can for the next 26 days. And many of you have been volunteering. I stopped at one of our headquarters this morning to thank all the volunteers who are calling all over the country to remind people to register to vote, to encourage them to come to events, to remind them to actually come out and vote. And I know that a lot of people from California, and particularly from Northern California, are going to Nevada to be part of the Get Out the Vote effort. So please know every single effort is essential to our winning and to sending the kind of message of who we are as a country. I have to tell you, I am proud that from the beginning, our campaign was a campaign about ideas, not insults. A campaign about bringing people together, solving our problems in a spirit of mutual respect. This has been the opportunity to lay out our agenda, to make it clear that we want everybody's help, to give us the future that we deserve, to lift each other up, not tear each other down. And there are so many great ideas that we can pursue together to build on the progress that we've made. But to do it by opening our arms, embracing and celebrating our diversity. I have been so struck by and encouraged by what my friend and our First Lady, Michelle Obama, so powerfully reminded us of. And just today, if you haven't seen it, you need to see her speech in New Hampshire, where she talked about the stakes in this election being high, but especially high for women and girls. And repeated and demonstrated once again what I've tried to do in both debates. Any of you see that last debate? Well, it is a little challenging debating someone with the truth. But as Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. Our campaign is about standing together because we really believe we are stronger together and empowering people to live up to their own God-given potential. You see, I want to be a president for all Americans, not just some. I want to be a president for people who agree with me and disagree with me. I want to be president for those who vote for me and those who vote against me, because we have to bring our country together. So I am closing my campaign the way I started my career, fighting for kids and families, taking on the kitchen table issues that keep families up at night. And I want to applaud a lot of what's happening here in San Francisco and give a special shout out to Supervisor Scott Wiener and everyone who worked so hard to pass paid family leave. Don't you think it's time that we brought the rest of America up to speed? Let's make paid family leave, earned sick days, and affordable child care a reality for all Americans, no matter where they live. I'm going to be talking in these remaining 26 days about how we can make a difference in the lives of Americans. Because I know there are a lot of people out there that are discouraged, frustrated, even angry. I get that. They feel like the economy has left them out, that the government doesn't care about them, that the political system works only for those at top who are powerful. And we've got to prove by what we do and the results we get that our economy and our government works for everyone, not just those at the top. Now, I believe we can make that case, and more than that, I believe I can govern that way. My opponent has a different approach. His campaign is promising more scorched earth attacks. Now, that's up to him. He can run his campaign however he chooses. And frankly, I don't care if he goes after me. I signed on for this. But I will defend and stand up for every other person or every other group that he demeans and insults. Trump brag about how he mistreats women, and the disturbing stories just keep coming. But it's more than just the way he degrades women, as horrible as that is. He has attacked immigrants, African Americans, Latinos, people with disabilities, POWs, Muslims, and our military, which he's called a disaster. There's hardly any part of America that he has not targeted. Now, it makes you want to turn off the news. It makes you want to unplug the internet, or just look at cat deaths. I've watched a lot of cats do a lot of weird and interesting things. But we have a job to do, and it'll be good for people and for cats. We got a job to do. It is not just to win wins this election. It's actually bigger than that. We need to demonstrate that we have a hopeful, positive, unifying vision for our country in the face of all this ugly. Is playing the woman card, then deal me in. Of Trump's campaign crumble. His only argument was what a success he had been in business. Now, in the last week, he built a lot of those businesses on the backs of small businesses and workers. His only argument was what a success he had been in business. Now we knew. So we knew that. We knew he stiffed contractors. We knew he refused to pay taxes, willing to support his workers in every place he'd ever done business. We knew all that, but we couldn't prove it because he wouldn't release his tax returns. The very first person running for president in more than 40 years who would not do that. And by the way, I'm going to work to pass a law that if you are a nominee for president, you are going to be legally required to disclose your income tax returns. So all of a sudden we get 3 pages of his returns. And what do they show? They show that he lost $1 billion. That's billion with a B. Lost $1 billion, which unfortunately, the best we can tell, under the current tax law, he was able to then avoid paying federal income taxes for years, 18, 20 years. Now, when I pushed him on this, and he admitted that he hadn't paid income taxes, he said, "No, that was smart," which of course makes every one of us dumb, because we actually believe that we should do our part to support our country. And it is indefensible to pay zero. Zero for our military, zero for our vets, zero for education and health care, which is exactly what he has paid. Besides, I keep asking, how does anyone running casinos lose $1 billion? I don't understand that. One of his supporters said that his which is exactly what he has paid. Besides, I keep asking, how does anyone here? But I'm not sure those are the skills we want for someone managing the federal budget and taking care of all of the important issues. Also, I remember the second debate when I was pushing him, and he said, "Well, everybody does that." He said, "Well, her supporter, Warren Buffett, does that. Do not pick a fight with Warren Buffett." It just shows you this man did not have the diplomatic understanding to actually engage with other people. So Warren Buffett the next day, he said, "Okay, I paid taxes for 72 years. I paid income taxes every year of those 72 years. I never took a loss or a carry forward, whatever gimmick Trump is using." And Buffett said, "You know, he has no reason, and I'm under audit, he has no reason not to disclose his tax returns." I thought Warren got better at that argument. So whatever final claim my opponent had has crumbled. And now we are left, to use his phrase, with a scorched earth campaign for the remaining 26 days. Now, I'm proud to have all of you supporting me. We need to build. We need to build momentum going into November 8th. We've got to finish this race strong because we want to send a message about who we are as a nation. That's really now what this election will tell us. We know who Donald Trump is. We've seen it. He's told us. It's up to us to show who we are. So if you believe, no matter who you are, what you look like, or who you love, that everyone has a place in our great nation, then please get out and vote and get everyone you know to vote. And if you believe that climate change is real and not a hoax perpetrated by the Chinese, and that we can not only save our planet, but do so by creating millions of good jobs, then you've got to vote and get everyone you know to vote. I was in Florida a couple days ago with Al Gore, and we talked about climate change, and we also talked about the positive agenda that we can implement to deal with climate change. But as Al said, he is Exhibit A for how every single vote counts in this election. If you believe that we should finally achieve comprehensive immigration reform with a path to citizenship, then please vote and get everyone you know to vote as well. Look, I would be fighting hard no matter who the Republicans had nominated to try to make the case to win this election. But I wouldn't go to bed every night with a knot in the pit of my stomach about what the alternative is and what has been unleashed by his hateful, divisive campaign. There's a lot of ugliness and bigotry that we have seen about what the alternative is and what has been unleashed by his fringe by feel that they don't want to even get involved by voting because it's so abhorrent to them. But we have to make the case that the best way to rebuke the kind of campaign that the other side has run is by defeating my opponent and what he stands for and all of the behavior, the words, the deeds that he has engaged in. So I need your help. I need your help here in California. I don't want California to quit voting when you see returns coming from the East Coast. I want you to keep voting. We've got important races in this state. We've got members of Congress or challengers who can be elected. I know how hard Nancy Pelosi is working to try to increase the number of Democrats in the House. We need to help her. And then you know how much you can do to help us around the country. To get the votes out that we're going to need, every phone call you make, every door you knock on, every voter you register or reach out to will help us elect Democrats up and down the ballot. We are getting close to having enough Democrats elected in the Senate to have a majority in the United States Senate. And you can help with that as well. Now, if we do our jobs in 26 days, Here's a real benefit. In 26 days, Donald Trump will stop being on the news. We'll have our next president, and we'll roll up our sleeves and we'll get to work. We can't get distracted, we can't get discouraged. And some of you have heard me say this before. I'm motivated to do this work because of what I have done my entire life. Going to work for the Children's Defense Fund, doing everything I could to help even the odds against people who were knocked down or left out. And I do that because of my mother. And I have to say, I wish she were here because she both bucked me up and sent me back out as she did throughout my entire life. She was the one who said everybody gets knocked down in life. What matters is whether you get back up. But what motivated me about her was her life. And I think about how she was abandoned and neglected by her own parents. And at the age of 8, she was put in charge of her 3-year-old sister. And the two of them were put alone on a train in Chicago that went all the way to Los Angeles. Whenever I think about that, I get all teared up. I can't imagine little 8-year-old girls that I know holding the hand of their 3-year-old sister and being left all alone to make that long journey. And when they got there, it was clear that their grandparents didn't really want them. And after about 6 years in a house of people who didn't really want her, my mother went to work for a family. She was living outside of LA, and she had to get out of that house, and she needed a job. So she went to work as a maid and a babysitter in a family's home. And the woman in the house, the mother, realized my mother wanted to go to high school. She didn't want to end her education, even though she had to support herself somewhere besides her grandparents' home. So the woman said to my mom, if you get up early and do your chores and get them done, you can go to high school, but I do need you to come right back. So for 4 years, my mother got up early, did her chores, and then literally ran to high school. She graduated from Alhambra High School, and many years later, they asked her to come back as the Grand Marshal of the Homecoming Parade. I tell you this story in part because it's what led me into my work for kids and families. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to stand up and fight for kids who were being discriminated against because they had disabilities and there was no place in public schools for them. Or they were being discriminated against in schools because they were African American, or they were Latino, or they were caught up in the criminal justice system for very minor problems that should have been dealt with in other ways. It's what led me as dealt with in other ways. It's what led me as a young had been mistreated, and it led me as First Lady of the United States to work to create the Children's Health Insurance Program, which provides 8 million kids a year with the health care that they need. fortunate enough to become president on January 20th, it will be my mission to become president on January 20th. It will be my mission. It will be mine to give every child in our country the chance to live up to his or her God-given potential. And I will judge my gift. And I am so excited about doing this work. As negative as this campaign has become, because of the person who achieved the nomination on the other side, you cannot talk about what we should do to make sure every child has preschool education, every child has good teachers and a good school, regardless of the zip code the child lives in. Every person deserves to have the skills and the training that he or she needs to do a good job. How we have to make college affordable, and I have a plan that I worked on with Senator Bernie Sanders to give every person in this country a chance to go to public college or a university, tuition-free or debt-free. We haven't had a chance to talk about paying down the debt that people already have, helping them to refinance it. We haven't had a chance to talk about how we're going to fix what doesn't work with the Affordable Care Act, but we're not going to rip away insurance from the 20 million people who have gotten it for the very first time. We haven't got the chance to talk about how we're going to get prescription drug costs down and how we are going to finally address problems of mental health and addiction that cause so much pain in so many people's lives. We haven't got the chance to talk about how we're going to stand up and defend women's rights and Planned Parenthood. And give people with disabilities more opportunities to make the most out of their own lives. How we're going to defend workers' rights against being exploited and abused and protect the right to be part of a union and have the chance to collectively bargain. And we haven't had much of a chance to talk about how I intend to take on the gun lobby and get comprehensive gun safety measures. So my friends, all of these issues will be on the ballot November 8th. They may be my name and Donald Trump's name, but everything we care about is at risk. I need you now to do everything you can during these next 26 days. If you help me to have the kind of victory we need that stands as a rebuke of all of the bigotry and bullying we've seen, then together we will build the future that all of us, and particularly the children